Hey guys, what's up? This is Colbycheeze with another strategy commentary video for a Starcraft 2 custom map. And this time we're going to be playing some Composition Wars, which is a pretty fun strategic game. It's going to be a 2v2 map. And there's two lanes, one on the top and bottom. This is similar to Nexus Wars if you've played that. But it's a lot more fast-paced, and I think it's a little bit more fun. I do enjoy them both. Anyways, here I'm actually playing again. This is a new version from what I was used to playing. So what I used to do was go for I would build 4 buildings of Zerglings, and they would actually pop out 3 at a time. But now they only do 2. With this map here, I found that the best possible strategy every single time is just to go massive Hydras. Now you're going to actually see in this video, I thought that the Zerglings were going to be a little bit stronger. This guy actually went mass Zergling, and so he overcame the fact that I was saving up to build the Hydras and whatnot. So he's already going to be in my base, and most people think they've already lost at this point. And there you go, I delayed my nuke just long enough so that I can get my units. And I'm going to fast forward here. I'm actually pushing this guy back on the top because I did get some counters to his Zerglings. Unfortunately, my opponent or my ally on the bottom is just not very good, so they're going to kill him before I'm able to finish off the top guy. Now, on this map here, the way it works is you actually build buildings. You don't build units on your own. The units are automatically built. You cannot micro them. All you can do is decide which units are going to come out of the buildings. So each one costs a certain amount of minerals. There are a couple of different game modes. A lot of them I'm going to show you here is just going to be normal mode. There's a normal mode, and then there's one where you get double money. There's one where you get a lot more minerals. You get more build time. You can actually get up to instant, and so those are voted on at the very beginning. In this match here, this is a new match. We lost that previous one. I've actually went straight to Hydras, and a lot of times what you want to do with Hydras is after your 3rd Hydra den, you can get the little air unit. And sometimes I'll do that, sometimes I won't. I decided to against this opponent, and it does seem to be working out. You see my ally on the bottom is actually going for Hydras as well. So, like I said, Hydras are the best unit. There is no composition better than just building mass Hydras. Played probably about 50 to 100 matches on this Composition Wars, and I've yet to find anything that can beat that can beat Hydras. So here we go. We're pushing this guy. I'm already destroying the guy on top, and this is about to be a GG. We're going to destroy his statue. And by the way, that is the goal of this map, is to kill the statue. Another thing I want to talk about is your SCV, which builds these buildings. Each player has his own nuke, and you can do 1 nuke at a time. And you'll see this is a new match, and my ally on the bottom just used his nuke to keep them back. And another thing I want to talk about is whenever you're building your buildings, I don't see a lot of people do this, but you really need to build them in the middle, because if they start pushing in, you're going to have to use your nuke a lot faster. And what I like to do is delay the nuke as much as possible so I can get the counter to whatever it is they're building, which honestly is usually just Hydras. But sometimes I'll have to build some air units, and you'll see that here in a little bit. If they get lots of Colossi, it's pretty easily countered. Once you get enough Hydras, then you just get 1 or 2 air units, and that will destroy it. And you'll see here, Hydras once again have destroyed them. But the main thing I wanted to show you on this part was when you're building your units and your buildings in the middle, you can actually decide which direction you want them to go. And that's the reason when we won that last match, they were actually pushing my opponent down, and I was rallying my buildings to go to the bottom, and that's what allowed us to push so hard. Now here on this map, I'm actually trying a new strategy with Immortals. Immortals are not the best strategy. Hydras do counter them, but they actually do get countered by Hydras. But they are pretty fun. You'll see the guy on the bottom actually went Hydra, so he won before I can even win the match. Here's a new match here. I'm going to go for Immortals once again. And the problem with this one here is that this guy went for a couple of Zealots, and just 1 or 2 more Zealots than you have is always going to beat your early game. And early game can be pretty important, because if they force you to use a nuke early, it could possibly spell doom for you later if you do need that nuke. So here you see I'm going to go for those Colossi really quick, and they are going to push into my base due to the fact that he did go for Hydras, and he does have an Immortal. So Hydras definitely counter anything that you can do. So he's pushing in, and I'm not going to be able to do much. At this point, I'm going to build some Zerglings to try and fend off his Immortals strike, so that Basically would be a little cannon fodder for me, in other words. And I'm just going to delay that nuke as much as possible. As you can see, building in the middle is great. See, there's the nuke. Because I was able to delay that until I built a couple more buildings. Built up to Colossi, was able to push this guy back, have lots of immortals, and he just didn't get the right comp. If he would have kept on going massive hydras and not gotten the immortals and kind of mixed the strategy up there, he would have been a lot better off. Okay, so we won that one. In this match, I'm actually using a new starting build order. I realized the Zerglings are not the best. What you want to do is instead get three Zealots, or 2 or 3 is what I like to get. They're much stronger than the Zerglings. And here I actually was trying out Marines. Marines are not the best choice, to be honest with you. You actually want to go straight from Zealots to Hydras. But in this case, I wanted to just check out the Marines, see how they did. The guy on the top is going for mass Marines, which is a decent strategy, but it's, well, no, not really, to be honest with you. I think it was a lot better in the previous versions, but they did up the cost of the Marine building, so Hydras once again prevail. As you can see, Hydras completely melt away his Marines, and a little bit later in the game, I got about 8 of them, and we destroyed his entire base. And that's going to be GG surrounding his statue. He has no buildings left because he did not building him in the middle like I suggest doing. And that's going to be the end of him. Guy on the bottom is getting pushed back, but luckily for me, I was able to win before that stopped my opponent. Now I'm on the other side. Here we go. I'm doing the same deal with the Zealots and the Marines. Unfortunately, I'm actually going to be behind this game because of the fact that I did go for Marines, and Marines are pretty damn useless. Should have just went straight for the Hydras, and you'll see that here in just a sec, that since he went for Hydras after his Immortals, he's going to be able to push me in. I'm not too concerned. I'm just going to go ahead and start building my Hydras up. I'm going to delay the nuke as much as possible. I'm just going to get as many buildings as possible until, yep, my opponent actually used a nuke because he was getting pushed on the bottom, so that ended up working in my favor. So fast forward a little bit here. He is in my base. I did have to use my nuke, so he did not kill my air unit building. He's got Colossi, so this is where, you know, I've got plenty of Hydra now, and I need to start building my air units to fend off these Colossi. As you'll see, I start to push this guy back on the top, especially with the air unit, because it will focus the Colossi, rendering it useless and expensive unit to make, and it takes a while to build it. Unfortunately, in this matchup, my teammate just wasn't able to hold on long enough. It was a really close match. I'm almost able to kill. I did destroy top. I almost did it, but he destroyed me faster than I could do anything. Now, I do want to show you this. This is one of the game modes, unlimited money and instant building time. This is a lot of fun. You just build as much as you can. I decided to go for a really strong early game, building lots of Zealots and Immortals. If you have the money, I definitely say go for these more expensive units rather than the Hydras. And you can see my my Colossi are just going to pop out of here, and then I'm just going to go massive BC, because what can you do against massive BC? They're tanks, they do tons of damage, and those Immortals, they're just going to rip apart any kind of buildings they get to. So this is pretty cool. You just basically build everything as fast as possible, and he's not going to be able to do anything. And as you can see, I'm already at a statue. I tell him to use a nuke because I wanted the game to go longer. It doesn't really matter because I already killed half his buildings anyways. But it was a fun match anyways, the unlimited and instant. So that's something to try out every once in a while. It's not exactly extremely strategic. It's just build as much as you can. I would definitely go for the early game like I did there, and then go for the BC later because they just completely demolish everything, as you can see there. So this is about to be a GG. You know, there's no way they could build as much buildings to counter all of these battle cruisers that I built. It won't take much longer. There you go. Okay, so here's a new one. It's unlimited but normal build time. And what I've decided to do here, well, the guy on the top versus me, he did Mass Stalker, which is, it's okay, but not whenever I have unlimited money. As you can see, I built a lot of Immortals, and I'm going to be able to push those back quite easily. Didn't even have to use the nuke, which... you know, I thought I was going to have to use a nuke, but my Immortals, 3 of them came out right at the same time. Bam, that cleaned everything up nice and easily. So we're going to be able to push this back without a problem. I've got tons of Immortals, lots of Colossi. There's nothing that Stalkers can do. They're definitely not as powerful as they used to be in previous versions of this map, when the corridors were a lot thinner, and they would just bunch up, and then you would not ever be able to kill them because they would just keep blinking backwards, which was kind of funny. But yeah, that was fixed. So here I got some Colossi just sitting there. I don't know what they're doing. That's kind of weird. He tries to get some air units to counter them, but I don't really care. I'm just going to start building mass hydras due to the fact that they do come out pretty quick, and since I've got unlimited money, it's not going to be a big deal. Although they're not really going to come into play since I've already destroyed his idol. But that's going to be the end of this. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.